Scan complete. There are countless Wanzers in the area. The enemy has already taken control of the harbor.
See any ship I might be able to escape on?
There is a detained container ship moored in the harbor.
What about the Wanzer I'm after? Do they already have it?
I see nothing like that. Its current location is unclear.
Having a Wanzer sure would make this whole escape thing a lot easier. Looks like I'll have to investigate. Any guesses as to where their commander might be?
It is difficult to say with certainty. Transmitting multiple 10 coordinates to your device. The enemy is vigilant. Please proceed with caution and avoid engaging in combat. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Verifying local surveillance status. Numerous soldiers are on guard around Warehouse 2. There is a possibility you may come across the enemy commander. While advantageous for gathering intelligence, it would be dire if they detected you even for a moment. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Nearby survivor located. Transmitting coordinates to your device.
Assignment change. You're to head to the warehouse. Orders are to not look inside.
More of this confidential bullshit? What's the Major up to with all this sneaking around?
Nothing we need to be briefed on. Now get going.
Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution, 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 the enemy is approaching.
Have you found Olga yet?
Sir, well, there have been sightings matching her description, but...
I don't care how many men you have to use. We leave at dawn. I want this settled before then. Speaking of which, where is it?
Secure in the warehouse, sir. As you commanded, only our best soldiers are guarding it. Our best and our most silent.
Good. Such precious cargo must be afforded every protection.
Voice print analyzed. It is Borodin. Please leave this place immediately.
What are they hiding in the warehouse? Never mind. I bet I know.
Located in active Wanzer. There are soldiers guarding it. Please be careful. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching.
All right, here I go. Prudent with remaining rounds in. Right shoulder, missile launcher. Be prudent with remaining rounds in. Rocket launcher. What are they hiding in this warehouse? I just want a little sneak peek.
Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution, the enemy is...
Who are you?
Caution, the enemy is approaching.
You're that cop from before! The one that led me to that sorry excuse for a shelter!
What are you doing here? You need to get to the shelter right now.
How long did you expect me to wait in a dump like that? With the amount of taxes I pay, you could at least do me the courtesy of calling a helicopter!
Oh, enough. Please just get to the shelter as fast as you can. I'm barely managing as it is. You don't want to die, do you?
Well, I suppose it is better than getting killed. I'll endure it this time. You should be grateful I'm so tolerant.
Subject of protection registered. Lead the way to the shelter. Caution, the enemy is approaching. 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 Subject of protection evacuated to shelter. Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution, the enemy is...
What the...
Caution, close quarters weapon damage. Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution. Enemy troop deployments have changed. Transmitting information to your device. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution.
What? What are you doing here? Are you all right? What kind of monster locks up a little girl in a place like this? Come on, sweetie. Come with me.
Really? But... you don't have to.
What?
Just leave me here. Run.
Did something happen? You'll get killed if you stay here. Why aren't you trying to run away?
Wherever I go, people die. They all die.
In any case, we should get out of here first. Then we can talk later.
Somehow, I'm not surprised to see you here.
Major, please. I'm begging you. Let her go.
I've got a reputation to uphold, you know. And it's already suffered enough, letting her escape me this long. Though, if you'd be willing to take her place. Watch your mouth. You want to know from experience that I do not allow disrespect to go unpunished. You're only wasting my time. My client wants their merchandise.
I knew it. You and Lavrov were in the trafficking business together. Was it money you wanted? Or to satisfy some sort of sadistic fantasy? On second thought, I don't want to know. I don't care. You're an officer in the Garmonian army, for God's sake! Someone like you operating a human trafficking ring inside Ruthenia. How could you possibly think you could escape international scandal?
International scandal. That's priceless. And just whose head do you think will roll if word of this gets out? Think back. You were always on your own, right? Never had a partner to help with your little investigation. I know you've got brains in that pretty little head of yours. So use them. Just how easy do you think it is ferrying hundreds of undocumented people across the border? How do you think we got them across? It's a near impossible feat without help.
Help? You had help from the government. Both governments. Both countries knew about this.
You were the only one doing anything to try and stop it. Getting you out of our way would have been remarkably easy, but then this damn war started and we had to put the operation on hold for a bit. Be a good girl now. You're the last bit of inventory we have to load up.
No, wait!
Calm down. The contract specifies I hand her over alive. considering how you all would walk right into my open arms, we ought to have a little bit of fun together. Before the end.
It's just me, Borodin.
Ah. I didn't realize. I suppose I ought to thank you. Samarga's help is the reason we're winning this war. That mech is yours, as promised. No one sees anything. No one says anything.
Good.
And please, rest assured, whatever it is you're doing here isn't for any of us to know.
If there's something you want to say, just say it.
I'm sure there are many complex layers to this war that I can't even begin to imagine. And I have no intention of getting involved in any of them. That's all I want you to know. I understand very well what becomes of your organizations, of those who make an enemy of Samarga. It's my hope that we can maintain a favorable relationship in the future.
Very prudent of you, Borodin. What is this?
Just, personal affairs. Rest assured, it'll be taken care of shortly.
Your methods disgust me. It's an inexact science, accounting for the fates of little men.
Nothing in front of the power plant, not even bodies? Good work out there. Let's go report to Lieutenant Zazchev. What are you talking about? We don't need to know what this Afteran army's after. Yeah, I know. Things are crazy with orders changing from one minute to the next. I can't believe we have to search for a goddamn kid. Whatever command came down from his superiors back home didn't sit well with Lieutenant Zazchev. He was super pissed. Could be he doesn't know much more than the rest of us. Anyway, we should get back to the search. Orders are orders.
They're looking for someone. I wonder what's going on.
Insufficient information. Searching for survivors in the vicinity. Transmitting coordinates to your device.
Well... Where's that rundown factory Patrick wanted me to...
Survivors located. Transmitting coordinates to your device. Caution. The enemy is approaching.
Man, don't sneak up on me like that. Are you here to help us? But no, I don't want to make any decisions without asking my girlfriend first.
See that guy over there? We've been on the run together this whole time. But God, he really sucks. A group of enemy soldiers spotted us on our way here. And you know what he did? He tried to save his own skin and pushed me towards them. He says it wasn't on purpose. Like I can't tell he's lying. Honestly, who does that? I joined up with him thinking it'd be better than trying to escape by myself, but I've had it. I'd rather be alone than stay with that asshole for another second.
Then what's he gonna do?
Who knows? Who cares? I'm not his keeper. I bet you're way more reliable in a pinch than he could ever be. You know, I'd be ever so grateful if you helped me. No way in hell.
Well, I'm either taking you both or leaving you both behind.
Wait. All right already. But I'm not talking to him, so you go tell him we're leaving.
Civilian registered as subject of protection. Commencing guidance to shelter.
Oh, man. You're gonna take us somewhere safe? I can't thank you enough. It was getting to the point where I wasn't sure I could protect us anymore.
Subject of protection registered. Lead the way to the shelter. Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution, the enemy is approaching.
Now.
Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution, the enemy spotted! Caution. The enemy is approaching. 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 Caution. The enemy is approaching.
Enemy spotted!
Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution, the enemy is approaching.
Great. How am I supposed to get in?
I do not foresee successful ingress without the aid of a Wanzer. Alternatively, you could create a diversion to draw their attention elsewhere and sneak inside.
So it's either hijack a Wanzer or figure out how to lure them away. Either way, sounds like I've got my work cut out for me.
There is an inactive Wanzer nearby, transmitting coordinates to your device. Caution, the enemy is approaching. 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 Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching.
Enemy spotted! Don't move!
Freaking hurts. I don't want to die yet. That's better. This is what I was born to do. Oh, this is just too perfect. Might as well have gift wrapped it for me.
Be prudent with remaining rounds in. Right shoulder, Gatling gun. Right shoulder, connection removed. Warning, the enemy has locked on. Warning, the enemy has locked on. You are taking damage. Please begin evasive maneuvers. Be prudent with remaining rounds in. Left shoulder, grenade launcher. Be prudent with remaining rounds in. Right hand, rifle. Nearby survivor located. Transmitting coordinates to your device.
Excuse me. You're a Ruthenian soldier, right? I think I'm lost.
I'm pretty sure we had this exact same conversation before. And I told you to get to the shelter. Remember that?
Oh, yes. That is what you said. I did get there, but it was so... I don't know, so gloomy inside. And I'm a little bit scared, you know, when it comes to the dark. So I left. I really don't know what I should do.
Get to the shelter and stay there. You know you're not safe out here, right?
Oh, well, yes, of course. You're a soldier. I should listen to you. That's what I'll do. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you.
Subject of protection registered. Lead the way to the shelter.
All right, finally! All right, now.
The civilian is dead.
I don't want to die yet.
Subject of protection
All right,
registered.
now.
Searching for route.
All right, finally!
Subject of protection evacuated to shelter.
That's better. This is what I was born to do! Where do I even start, Koshka? It'd take way too long to comb through this whole place.
Nearby survivor located. Transmitting coordinates to your device.
Here? Smells like a trap to me. Still, I gotta check it out. This is what I was born to do!
Connected. Bazooka. Two-handed. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching.
Whoa! I'm out of ammo!
Caution. The enemy is approaching.
Don't move!
That freaking hurts!
Someone cover me!
That's better.
incorrect password. 21250403. We changed it, Ruslan. It's easy to remember. It's the day our hero died. Except... you were alive this whole time. I found Isaac's body in the sewers. Did you kill him? He and Boonin made that Wanzer here. You killed him to keep him from talking. Didn't you?
He reaped what he sowed. You're the last person I expected to see here. Have you gotten caught in the crossfire as well?
Things have settled down since the riots. But... nothing has changed. It's like... the whole thing was some vivid dream. We've all done unspeakable things to survive. Even me. Either you sell yourself, or die. Some girls just never make it home at the end of the night. That's normal for this city. Tell me, who are you, really?
I can empathize, Sophia. Really, I can. But this is a necessary process in the grand scheme of things.
You deceived us all, Ruslan.
All I did was pretend our goals were the same, when they never were. I'm working for a greater purpose. For the future of all humanity.
Except us, right? We're just the tools you used and disposed of.
Do not put words in my mouth. However, I will do what I must.
So, are you going to kill me too?
Who was that guy?
What's a soldier doing here? It's rude to eavesdrop, you know.
You were a member of that liberation group. Just like that old runaway prisoner.
A runaway prisoner? You mean Leo? Do you know him?
Well, kinda.
I wonder if Leo lied to us too. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to do. I don't know anything anymore.
To tell you the truth, I don't really know that much about your movement. So maybe I'm not in a position to say anything, but... you were right there in the thick of things. Fighting every step of the way, weren't you?
What do you know about me?
I guess I never did meet any of you NGFP people until today, but, you know? Back when your group was fighting for our liberation, I was just an idiot dreaming of Wanzers. Nothing could have prepared me for this. But you were a fighter. You are a fighter. You still got it in you, don't you?
Lies. It was all lies. The fight, Ruslan's death, Leo's death. There's nothing I can do. No. There never was anything I could do. I think you're starting to grow on me. I wish I could have been like you. Here. Take this. Everything I know is stored on there.
Mikhail, I have a message from Patrick. He wants you to head to the harbor immediately.
Got it. So, what are you gonna do?
Well, I'm going to find Leo.
At least tell me your name.
It's Sophia. Sophia Alexieva. Be safe, soldier.